They look at you and they see only what they want to see. They see the silence and they mistake it for emptiness. They see your distance and they mistake it for weakness. They see your lack of reaction and they assume you are defeated. Let them. Let them construct their comfortable lies while you sharpen the blade of your mind in the dark. You have always felt different, haven't you? A stranger in a world obsessed with noise, validation, and the desperate clawing for mediocrity. You have felt the weight of their judgment and the sting of their exclusion. But you must understand that this friction is not an accident. It is a signal. The world rejects what it fears, and it ridicules what it cannot control. If you are standing alone today, it is not because you have fallen behind. It is because you have evolved beyond the herd. You are not here to be liked, to be understood, or to be saved. You are here to rise. Niccolo Machiavelli whispered the truth centuries ago, a truth that the weak still hide from. It is far safer to be feared than loved, for love is a chain, but fear is a currency. Today, we strip away the illusions of polite society. We step into the void where true power is forged. This is not a guide for the faint of heart. This is the architecture of dominance for the one who walks alone. Number 1. The sanctum of solitude. Consider the terrifying advantage of absolute isolation. When the world turns its back on you, do not weep, for you have just been handed the keys to the ultimate kingdom. The average man is terrified of silence because in the silence, he must meet himself, and he hates who he finds there. But you are different. You must view isolation not as a prison, but as a crucible, a laboratory where your weakness is burned away and your true nature is revealed. When the applause dies down and the fake friends evaporate, the noise of their influence finally stops. In that vacuum, you can finally hear your own strategy. This is where the lion becomes dangerous. A lion does not hunt alone because he has been banished. He hunts alone because the pack slows him down. The pack requires compromise. The pack requires you to lower your vibration to match the slowest member. But in solitude, your speed is unchecked. Your focus becomes a laser that burns through distraction. You must learn to sit in an empty room and feel the power of your own potential rising like a tide. While they are out there wasting energy on social friction and meaningless banter, you are inward, constructing a fortress of intellect that they cannot breach. Isolation strips away the mask you wear for others. It forces you to confront your ambition without the dilution of other people's doubts. Embrace the cold, embrace the quiet. It is in this dark soil that the roots of your empire take hold. You do not need their support to move. The weak need a cheerleading squad to get out of bed, but the powerful create their own momentum. Every time they leave you out, they are inadvertently giving you the time to outpace them. Number 2, the anatomy of perception and power. Power is not a loud voice. Power is not a clenched fist. Power is a psychological frequency that you broadcast without speaking a word. The Machiavellian adept understands that human beings are desperate animals, constantly searching for a leader, for someone who possesses the certainty they lack. Most people are riddled with insecurity. They bleed their emotions into the atmosphere, begging for validation. You must become the opposite. You must become a black hole of validation, absorbing everything, reflecting nothing. This is the psychology of true dominance. You observe the patterns of the herd like a biologist studying insects. You watch their micro-expressions, their nervous tics, the way their eyes dart around the room seeking approval. You see their lies before they even speak them. By remaining unreadable, you become a canvas upon which they project their fantasies and their fears. If you are silent, they will assume you are judging them, and in their insecurity, they will try to impress you. This is the trap you set. You do not react to their provocations. When they try to anger you, you look at them with the detached curiosity of a scientist watching a specimen. This lack of reaction is terrifying to the average person because it denies them the emotional feedback loop they crave. You must cultivate a presence that lives in the twilight between fascination and intimidation. You are not cold, you are simply contained. You are a vault to which they have no combination. When you deny them access to your inner thoughts, you force them to speculate. And in their speculation, they will create a myth about you that is far more powerful than the reality. Number 3, the strategic void of detachment. The greatest weapon in your arsenal is the ability to sever your emotional connection to the outcome. Society uses emotion as a leash. They tug at your guilt, your anger, your desire for acceptance, and like a puppet, you dance. The moment you master strategic detachment, you cut the strings. You become a ghost in their machine. Detachment is not about feeling nothing. It is about feeling everything and acting on nothing until the timing is perfect. It is the ability to watch your own life from the ceiling, observing the chaos without drowning in it. People love emotional chaos. They are addicted to the drama because it makes them feel alive. They want to see you break. They want to see you scream. Deny them this satisfaction. When they expect a storm, give them a desert. Let them scream into the void of your indifference until they exhaust themselves. This is how you win wars without throwing a punch. Your loyalty must be calculated, not blind. Your empathy must be selective, not automatic. You act with surgical precision, wasting no energy on the friction of feelings. Imagine yourself as a general looking at a map. The soldiers on the field are your emotions. You do not weep for them, you deploy them. You position them where they will be most effective. If anger is useful, you use it. If kindness serves the strategy, you deploy it. But you never become the emotion. You remain the observer, the architect, the one who stands behind the glass. This level of control makes you unpredictable, and in a world of predictable, reactive sheep, the unpredictable man is king. Number 4, the alchemy of rejection. There is a secret physics to rejection that the elite understand. Rejection is energy. It is potential fuel waiting to be ignited. Every time they close a door in your face, every time they sneer at your ambition, they are handing you a gift wrapped in barbed wire. The average man takes rejection as a wound. He internalizes it, he lets it fester, and he allows it to define his worth. But you are not average. You are an alchemist. You take the lead weight of their rejection and you transmute it into the gold of ambition. When someone tells you no, they are revealing the limits of their own imagination, not the limits of your potential. They cannot see your vision because they are looking at the world with eyes adapted to the dark. Do not hate them for their blindness. Use their doubt as a grindstone to sharpen your will. There is a dark, driving hunger that can only be accessed through the pain of being cast out. It is the hunger to prove them wrong, not with words, but with an existence that towers over theirs. Let their betrayal carve away your softness. Let their mockery calcify your resolve. You do not need a revenge arc. You need a transcendence arc. You do not scream your comeback. You become the living, breathing evidence of their miscalculation. Success is the only revenge that matters because it is the only one that lasts. When you finally ascend, do not look down on them with anger. Look down on them with the indifference of a mountain looking at a pebble. You have used their resistance to build your muscles. Without them, you would have remained weak. So thank them for the rejection. It was the fire that hardened the steel. Number 5, the puppeteer's control. Control is the religion of the Machiavellian. But understand this distinction. The amateur tries to control others. The master controls himself. And through that, the world bends. If you cannot command your own impulses, your own tongue, and your own temper, you are a slave, no matter how much authority you think you possess. The man who masters his own mind is the only one fit to rule the minds of others. Self-control is the ultimate dominance because it creates a fortress that no external force can breach. When chaos erupts around you, you must be the eye of the storm, still, observant, and deadly calm. This stillness creates a gravitational pull. People instinctively gravitate toward the one who holds the frame when everything else is falling apart. You must regulate your presence like a thermostat. Speak less than necessary, for every word you speak dilutes your power. Move with deliberation. Never rush, for haste is the hallmark of the servant, while pacing is the privilege of the master. When you have mastered your internal domain, you begin to influence the external world with subtle, invisible threads. You do not force people to your will. That creates resistance. Instead, you create the conditions where they choose the path you have already laid out for them. You appeal to their self-interest, their vanity, and their fears. You become the mirror that reflects what they want to see, and in doing so, you guide their hand while they believe they are steering the ship. This is the art of the invisible hand. You are the puppeteer in the shadows, and your control is absolute because it is unseen. Number 6. The phantom strategy. In a world that screams for attention, the most dangerous entity is the one that moves in silence. We live in an era of oversharing, where people vomit their intentions, their plans, and their weaknesses onto the internet for a hit of dopamine. This is their fatal flaw, and it is your greatest opportunity. You must embrace the shadow strategy. You must learn to operate like a submarine, deep beneath the surface, silent, undetectable, until the moment of impact. When you broadcast your moves, you give your enemies a roadmap to destroy you. You allow them to prepare defenses, to sabotage your efforts, to copy your blueprint. But when you move in the dark, they cannot parry a strike they do not see coming. The shadow strategy is not about hiding. It is about strategic curation. You show them the decoy while you move the real pieces in the background. You let them believe you are idle while you are working harder than they can comprehend. You let them think you are foolish while you are gathering intelligence. There is a terrifying power in ambiguity. When people cannot define you, they cannot confine you. Become a myth in your own lifetime. Let them whisper about what you might be doing. Let them speculate. Fear thrives in the unknown. If they know everything about you, you are mundane. If they know nothing, you are a mystery. And if they know only what you allow them to know, you are a god. Starve your ego. Do not seek the applause of the crowd. Seek the checkmate. The applause will come later, and it will be deafening, but by then you will not need it. You will have the power. Number 7. The ritual of ruthless discipline. Motivation is a fickle mistress, a fleeting spark that dies in the wind. Discipline is the cold, hard engine that runs on the fuel of your own will. The Machiavellian mind knows that the natural state of man is decay and laziness. To rise above the muck, you must impose a ruthless, militaristic order upon your own existence. This is not about self-help, this is about self-conquest. You must view your daily habits not as chores, but as rituals of power. Every time you deny a momentary pleasure for a long-term gain, you are forging a link in the chain of your destiny. You must become a tyrant to your own weakness. When your body begs for rest, you push. When your mind begs for distraction, you focus. When your emotions beg for release, you contain. This constant friction against your own lower nature generates a heat, a psychic energy that others can feel. They will call you obsessed. They will say you are too intense. Good. That means you are vibrating at a frequency they cannot endure. Discipline is the only thing that separates the dreamer from the conqueror. You are building an empire, stone by stone, in the quiet hours of the morning while your competition is still asleep. You are stealing time from the gods. This ruthless consistency makes you formidable because you become reliable like gravity. You are not swayed by moods or seasons. You simply execute over and over again until the obstacle breaks. The world eventually yields to the man who refuses to stop. It has no choice. Number 8. The architecture of reality. Truth is a fragile thing, often buried under layers of noise. Perception, however, is solid. Perception is what rules the world. The Machiavellian understands that reality is subjective, and it belongs to the one with the strongest frame. You must become the architect of how you are perceived. Do not leave your reputation to chance. Curate it like a museum exhibit. Human beings judge with their eyes. They are seduced by aesthetics, by posture, by the tone of voice, by the cut of a suit. You must align every signal you send to reinforce the narrative of your dominance. If you act like a king, eventually they will treat you like one. If you walk with the weight of authority, they will clear a path. This is not deception. It is performance, and all of life is a stage. You must learn to frame every interaction in a way that benefits you. If you are silent, make it look like wisdom, not ignorance. If you are aggressive, make it look like passion, not anger. If you withdraw, make it look like exclusivity, not fear. You control the lighting, you control the angle. You decide what is seen and what remains hidden in the wings. Once you establish a reputation for power, the reputation does the work for you. It enters the room before you do. It intimidates your enemies and rallies your allies without you lifting a finger. Guard this perception with your life. A single crack in the facade can shatter the illusion. Be consistent. Be congruent. Be the avatar of the power you claim to possess. Number 9. The weaponization of patience. Patience is not the inability to act. It is the ability to wait for the kill shot. The predator does not run aimlessly through the jungle. He crouches in the tall grass, muscles coiled, breath shallow, waiting for the prey to make a mistake. And the prey always makes a mistake. In our fast-paced world, everyone is rushing. They are desperate for instant gratification, instant success, instant answers. This urgency makes them sloppy. It makes them vulnerable. You must cultivate a timeline that is measured in decades, not days. When you detach from the need for speed, you gain the upper hand. You can watch your rivals burn themselves out. You can watch them overextend, expose their flanks, and exhaust their resources. And while they are gasping for air, you are just beginning to breathe. Weaponized patience allows you to control the tempo of the game. You force others to play at your speed. You delay gratification until the reward is exponential. Do not mistake this waiting for passivity. It is an active, burning state of readiness. You are constantly calculating, constantly refining, constantly preparing. And when the window of opportunity finally cracks open, a window you knew would open because you studied the patterns, you strike with a ferocity that is blinding. The strike is effective only because of the stillness that preceded it. The longer you pull back the arrow, the deeper it flies. Number 10. The state of untouchability. We arrive now at the summit, the final evolution of the dark psychological path, becoming untouchable. To be untouchable is to reach a state of internal sovereignty where nothing external can alter your state of mind. It is the realization that you are a system unto yourself. You no longer need their money because you have built your own resources. You no longer need their love because you have found strength in your own purpose. You no longer need their approval because you judge yourself by a standard higher than they can comprehend. When you need nothing from them, they lose all power over you. You cannot be manipulated, you cannot be bribed, and you cannot be threatened. You move through the world like a force of nature, inevitable and absolute. This is the ultimate freedom. It is the freedom of the man who has walked through the fire of isolation, who has mastered the cold logic of psychology, who has tamed his own demons, and who has emerged on the other side as something more than human. You are no longer playing their game. You have built your own board. You are the player, the pieces, and the rules combined. So let them talk, let them doubt, let them gather in their circles and whisper about your arrogance. They are merely praying to a god they do not understand. You have entered the Machiavellian mode. You have traded comfort for greatness. You have traded belonging for dominance. Walk into the shadows, not with fear, but with a smile, for the shadows are where you were born, and the shadows are where you will rule. Comment below. I am the master of my fate. Prove that you have the will to finish what you start. This is not the end. This is the beginning of your reign. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The revolution of the mind begins now. Silence is your sword. Use it.